They call me Cholera. Don't bother reaching for that glass of water. By the time you feel the thirst, I've already signed the eviction notice for every drop of fluid in your body. I am the Blue Death, and I've come to turn your own biology into a high-speed drain. You humans love your drama. You fear the Black Death because of his flashy charcoal skin and those hideous buboes. You fear rabies because it turns you into a snarling puppet. But those are loud, messy, and desperate. I don't need to rot your flesh or hijack your brain to win. I prefer a more minimalist approach. I don't take your life. I simply empty it out of you until there's nothing left but a shriveled, blue-tinted husk. You've spent centuries trying to wash me away with your filters and your chlorine, calling me a relic of the Victorian slums. But history isn't a book you can close. It's a cycle I control. I wasn't defeated. I was just waiting for you to get comfortable, to get arrogant, and to let your infrastructure rot. Now, the world is crowded, thirsty, and neglectful. You've built me a playground of leaky pipes and broken systems, and I am ready to play. I am Vibrio Cholerae, a comma-shaped masterpiece of biological efficiency. I don't bother attacking your heart or your lungs. That's far too much effort. I go straight for the engine room of your hydration, the small intestine. Most of my brothers and sisters are burned alive by your stomach acid, but I play the numbers game. I arrive in the millions. All I need is for a few thousand of my elite soldiers to survive the acid bath and reach the alkaline paradise of your gut. Once I'm there, I don't just sit around. I deploy my secret weapon, the cholera toxin. Think of it as a high-tech hack for your cellular software. My toxin binds to your intestinal cells and flips a permanent on switch on your G proteins. This forces your cells to pump out chloride ions like a broken fire hydrant. And where salt goes, water follows. Your body, in its frantic confusion, starts dumping all its precious fluids into your gut to try and flush me out. But that's the trap. I want you to flush me out. This is the beauty of my rice water masterpiece. Within hours, your digestive system is producing liters of clear, cloudy fluid, teeming with trillions of my newborn children. You become a biological fountain, a high-speed distribution hub for my empire. You aren't just dying. You are becoming the very river that will infect your neighbors, your children, and your entire city. You think dehydration is just feeling a little parched after a jog? How cute. When I take over, I'm not just making you thirsty. I am performing a biological harvest. As I force your intestines to dump liters of water, your blood begins to transform. Usually, your blood is a slick crimson highway, moving oxygen with effortless grace. But under my influence, that highway turns into a stagnant swamp. I strip the plasma away until your blood becomes a thick, dark sludge, a liquid charcoal that your heart can no longer pump. This is where the blue in my name comes from. Your skin loses its warmth. Your fingers turn shriveled and cold, like you've been soaking in a tub for an eternity. Your face collapses, your eyes sink into your skull, and your skin takes on that haunting cyanotic tint. You aren't just dying, you are literally evaporating while you're still breathing. I am the only artist who can turn a vibrant human being into a living mummy in under 6 hours. Ah, the 1800s. Those were the golden years. You humans started cramming yourselves into filthy, overcrowded cities like London, Paris, and New York. You built beautiful monuments above ground, but underground, you were living in a sewer. You drank the same water you washed your clothes in, the same water your waste flowed into. You essentially rolled out a red carpet for me. I marched from the Ganges Delta and conquered the world in 7 glorious pandemics. I loved the terror I inspired. Because I killed so fast, you thought I was a miasma, a bad smell in the air. You burned incense and carried flowers, thinking perfumes could stop me, while you were sniffing roses. I was busy in your wells and pumps. I have to give credit to your 19th century experts. They were my greatest unwitting accomplices. While I was busy swimming in your communal wells, your finest scientific minds were arguing that I was a miasma, a ghost in the wind, a product of bad smells and moral failings. They told the poor to keep their windows open and their spirits high, while I was literally flowing through the lid pipes of their kitchens. I watched as they burned sulfur and carried bouquets of flowers to ward me off. They were sniffing roses while I was drowning them from the inside out. In 1854, I took over Broad Street in London. I killed 600 people in a single neighborhood in just a few days. It was a massacre, a symphony of dehydration that no doctor could explain. I watched as families collapsed together, their skin turning that beautiful, deathly blue as their blood thickened to sludge in their veins. The arrogance of the Victorian elite was my favorite playground. They believed that my blue shadow only fell on the unworthy or the unclean. They thought their wealth was a shield, but as I've told you before, in the eyes of a pathogen, a king's blood is just a slightly more expensive buffet. I took the merchants in London and the dock workers in New York with the same cold, calculating efficiency. I don't care about your social status. I only care about your plumbing. But then came the party pooper, Jon Snow. He didn't believe in the miasma. He was a map maker, a detective who looked at the patterns of my work. He traced my victims back to a single water pump on Broad Street. When he convinced the local authorities to remove the pump handle, he effectively evicted me from my favorite London residence. He discovered my secret, that I was a waterborne assassin. From that day on, you started building filters and using chlorine. You started to fight back. You think I'm a ghost of the past? How adorable. While you play with your smartphones in your sanitized apartments, I am still the king of the global south. I thrive in the chaos of war, the aftermath of earthquakes, and the neglect of broken governments. In 2010, I visited Haiti after the earthquake and reminded the world that I could still kill thousands in weeks. In Yemen, I staged the largest outbreak in modern history because you humans are so good at destroying your own infrastructure. I love the irony of your modern world. You have the cure. It's just salt, sugar, and clean water. Oral rehydration salts, ORS. It's so simple, yet millions still don't have access to it. I am the disease of poverty. I am the reminder that if you don't share your clean water, I will share my blue shadow. Let's talk about the ultimate irony, the cure. You've built space telescopes that can see the beginning of time and AI that can write poetry, yet you can't seem to figure out how to give every human a packet of salt and sugar. It costs pennies. It is the most effective medicine in human history, and yet, I still harvest thousands of lives every year because your globalized world is a lie. I thrive in the gap between your luxury and your neglect. I am the disease of poverty because I am the price you pay for looking away. Every time a war breaks out or a climate disaster shatters a coastline, I am the first one on the scene. I don't need a high-tech lab to mutate. I just need a broken sewage pipe in a world that doesn't care enough to fix it. You think you are old money? You think you are elite? True power is the ability to command the very water people drink. And right now, in the shadows of the global south, I am the one in command. Of course, I am not invincible. I despise the wind of modern sanitation and the sun of a well-funded public health system. My black mist is easily scattered by a single drop of chlorine or a properly treated sewage plant. My greatest fear is a world where every human has a clean tap and a safe toilet. In those places, I am truly a relic, a forgotten nightmare from a Victorian novel. But I know you. You're easily distracted. You get comfortable. You start thinking that clean water is a luxury instead of a right. You let your pipes rust and your investments in the poor dry up. And that is when I'll come back. I'll be in the floodwaters, in the broken pipes after a storm, and in the hands of the person who forgot to wash before dinner. So, keep ignoring the wild side of your biology. Keep thinking your fancy cities are impenetrable fortresses. I am the Blue Death, the master of the silent emptying. I've been waiting since the beginning of time, and I'm very, very patient. The next time your water turns a little cloudy, don't say I didn't warn you.